This is Emily Murphy, and I'm in Emily Murphy Park, right across from the Royal Mayfair Club, which paid for that statue that I'm just panning away from to be erected there in about 1962 or thereabouts, and then had this named as a park at her. You're thinking, why is Jerry pointing directly west? It's because directly west from Emily Murphy's nose is a mass grave site the city of Edmonton secretly dug up in October 20. What year was that? God, it's been a while. 2014. As we were talking to Ottawa, I'd seen some other grave sites being dug up earlier in the summer. We'll take a look at those later on in this videography. This is the first site. I went to Emily Murphy because she's the key. And over there is the Royal Mayfair Club, given its designation by the Queen Mother Royal in 2008. And then 2 years later, the Americans released documentation showing that the royal family had spied for Adolf Hitler. It's referred to as the Royal Surrender of 1934, found in Adolf's Bavarian chateau, in which the king and the crown get to live in perpetuity as Nazis' puppets in exchange for supporting the Nazis, which, if you didn't know, Queen Victoria and Adolf are cousins. Anyways, over there is the mass grave. It's a straight nose road right from Emily Murphy, and she's not, doesn't look too happy there. You can see she's looked pretty grim. I could never understand why she was pointing that direction until I realized it made a straight line right to the mass grave site. So that's enough for Emily Murphy. We'll talk more about her later and her infamous role on her influence on Adolf Hitler, the Holocaust, marijuana prohibition, alcohol prohibition, and calling for Chinese to be kicked in the pants and sent back to China at her Ku Klux Klan rallies, which led to them being boot stomped to death, which my dad witnessed at the age of 8 years old in Moose Jaw at 9:30 on an August morning when he was 8 years old in 1932. A mob of 50 of her followers were just finishing off a Chinese guy. Chinese in Moose Jaw and Lethbridge had to live in tunnels from 1870 to 1945 because of this lady here. So let's give her full credit. Enough on Emily. Let's move on to the next site of racism in Edmonton. And that'll be the downtown location where everybody starts out of the, what are those dorks called? They can't. Anyways, we'll get to them in a second. Thanks. We'll be there. Bye.